Seabird spent the early years of his life in New Roads, West London. But by the age of 10, the family moved to settle in Sweet River and later on Glencara. Most lodges would always tell of the different schools the deceased would have attended. But for Seabird, this was not so. He never got the opportunity to go to school. As a matter of fact, he savored the taste of school for about 2 weeks while in New Roads. But like cotton candy, this sweet experience was short-lived. He did not do this by choice, as his greatest wish was then to attend school, like every other young child at that time. With tears streaming down his face, he would recall how every week his father would promise, "Next week, you will go to school, boy." But next week never came. Indeed, next week never came. He also recalled how his neighbor, a little girl, would call him every morning. But his mother would always say, "He didn't know how no chocolate this morning." Of course, the chocolate was his breakfast. "He will go tomorrow." But like the next week, tomorrow never came. Until next week. I must tell you though that at a very years later, he would have to learn to read at nights. When asked how, he related a story to us. He told us that he went to school at nights in his dream, and he was the only one in the classroom. Every night, the teacher would teach him to read from the Bible, and his homework was to go home and read the Bible. As he related, he disclosed this to no one but his wife, as he never believed anyone would believe him. He, like us, was confident that he was taught by angels from God. The dream was later consolidated by the late Reverend Jacob Hansen. Reverend Hansen started a program where he volunteered to help children to read, and CC turned up for class. He never went to school, so he thought within himself he couldn't read. When Reverend Hansen gave him the paper to test his vocabulary, CC started reading every single word. Reverend Hansen got a little annoyed with him and told him not to waste his time, as he was already a fluent reader. Indeed, God still worked miracles. Although he was not privy to go into regular school, he was a scholar in his own way. CC had some terms and his vocabulary, that when used, we would have to draw for the Oxford Dictionary. But guess what? There was no record, and still no record of those words. So you see, our father was well ahead of the Oxford Dictionary. CC probably a hard-working and ambitious young man who would not settle for mediocrity. In 1956, he set eyes on a young princess, the one and only prized daughter for her mother. Seabird was determined not to settle for anyone less than his princess. So he successfully overcame the odds. And in 1956, at the age of 24, he married his princess, Ruby, my late mother, now deceased. Interestingly, both shared similar birthdays, October 1. Like the ending of a fairy tale, they lived happily ever after. The union produced 7 golden children, as he often referred to us. CC was a hard worker who took pride in his family. He took his position in the home very seriously and distinguished himself as the real Manayard.